Okay.
Welcome to another edition of Interruption. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, I got a treat. I got a legend in the business. You might recognize this face from uh, Chris Rock's Everybody Hates Chris. You may recognize him from the Malcolm X movies. You also may recognize him from the legendary also show that I grew up on, which is What's Happening, aka Roger Thomas. I'm talking no other than the brilliant actor and one of the people I really always wanted to speak to, Mr.
Thank you.
Ernest Thomas. How you doing,
Thank
sir?
you. I'm doing great, Otis. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on the show. We don't take it
Yes,
lightly
sir.
that you blessing us with your
Thank you.
presence. I saw you do many interviews, so hopefully we can have a different conversation. I try
Yes,
not to
yes.
ask the same questions.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's good.
but but
That's
we'll
very
go
good.
but we'll go from the beginning. But I want to phrase this question a little bit different. Is not so
Okay.
much how did you get into acting, but what made you want to become an actor?
Okay. Yeah, that's well, as I I was just telling a friend had me to talk to a group of actors on Zoom,
Okay.
and they were surprised to hear that I never wanted to be. That wasn't something I had a desire to be. I admired it. I watched every, especially comedy and
Okay.
westerns. I love all the westerns: Gunsmoke, um, Rawhide, Wagon
Okay.
Train, Bonanza,
Now that's
and
my
I
show.
love the comedy. Huh?
That's my show, Bonanza.
Yeah, I just love the Western. And my mother and would give me the little, little holster of the fake guns and the little
Right.
fake gun caps in there, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then the cowboy hat. So I was into that. I love all the I Love Lucy's, Make Room for Daddy, the Danny Thomas stuff and My Little
Yes.
Margie. It was so many and I was an asthmatic, so I was at home a lot. They don't have well, even though people are dying more than ever from asthma, back then it was very they didn't have the medicines they have
Sure.
now that can at least keep you alive. But so it was a lot of just trying to trying to trying to breathe, just breathing, and
Okay.
so I was at home a lot, and so I got a chance to watch a lot of TV. So I just admired, man. I could tell you, I met Lucille Ball. I could tell her, oh, you did
Wow.
this episode, and she started crying, man, because she knew I was a devoted fan. And here's a black kid telling her that I was in the
Yeah.
Doorbell Project and being asthmatic, and what you did for me, and you made me feel, made me laugh, gave me hope, gave me
Sure.
joy. So I never wanted to be it. And then my friend Jake Smith, he saw it in me. And I told sometimes people, God will send you someone
Yeah.
they recognize the dream, they recognize the gift that you don't see at all. Right.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
so my friend Jake Smith, who still is in Gary, Indiana, didn't want anything, didn't want to manage me, but he was a fanatic about me becoming an actor because I would make him laugh just being silly, but I'm just
Yes.
being silly,
Right.
but to him, I was good enough to be on TV and in movies to him. And so I don't know what the hell he's talking about. So the more that I took a course, he's well, at least take a course in it. And when I
Okay.
took the course, and they're telling you, well, you're gonna be somebody else, and you got to do you do like a background biography about the person. So the whole make believe thing,
Sure.
that was it. The fact that I could make believe, because I have an incredible imagination anyway, and now I had a way to really use it because I have incredible imagination. So I'm vivid imagination, right? And
Right.
like when music comes on, I automatically have a whole video separate from what they've done. I do
Oh
that.
wow.
Or I
Wow.
can meet you. And I can meet you, and you start telling me about your family and all that. I start visualizing stuff. I start
Okay.
seeing, yeah. So I would say the answer is that it was what a great avenue and an outlet for my imagination and the fun of being someone else, especially when you don't want to be who you are. Because I was asthmatic. I mean, by that time I'm in college, so I'd grown out of the asthma.
Uh-huh.
But the old wounds were the fact that the father I never met,
Gotcha.
So my sister knew her father, but I never met the man. So that's something that always bothered me, and the fact that we was on welfare and relief, that bothered me. The fact that I was bullied,
That
because I
bothers you.
was small and because I was on welfare, and know that they, in all black folks, it was all black grade
Yeah.
schools. So when white people, when I went to the South now, the racists, as they hate your guts, so they call you nigger and all that. So that during the summer, I would
Right.
go to the South to visit my aunt Gussie, my aunt Betty, and then you have to make sure because of Emmett Till, you don't want to end up like Emmett Till. So you
Wow.
remember that photo in Jet. So my mother,
Yes.
my mother and grandmother said, "This is what happens. All right, I don't want you to end up like that." So
Wow.
you were scared of white folks, man. You were so scared. So they said, if you see a white boy, a white girl, even a
Mhm.
child, say
Mhm.
yes, sir, and no, sir. So I had that to deal with during the summer. Then you go back to the black grade school,
Right.
and then you got your own people calling you ugly monkey, right? You broke, you smell, you wear cheap clothes, you're on welfare relief, all that. And you got the bullies hitting you in the chest, taking your lunch money, with a little lunch
Wow.
money when I did have it. And so it was, I found I would escape by watching it as a child. But now I could actually be a character and escape
Wow.
totally. And it really was therapeutic for me. It still is. Yeah.
Wow. That's a no, I mean, you struck a chord with me when you said, because Mr. Thomas, when people see you on TV, right, and you're
Yeah.
acting and they don't know your background and just how vivid that whole Emmett Till, the picture. So when you would go visit in the South, it was like, hey, listen, listen, listen,
Oh,
like, because it's funny with him watching the different documentaries that I've seen,
yes, yes, yes,
he
yes.
didn't grasp the
No,
totality of where he was going. He
he
didn't have,
didn't.
but it took him. It's funny because it took him for everybody else who,
Everybody,
wow,
yes,
wow,
yes, brother.
that's
Everybody else. I'm telling you, you could
that's
not escape. I'm glad the mother said, no, I want an open casket. I want everybody to see, and then she described it too,
right.
what she saw when she picked up. So that was such, I mean, you it's the worst thing ever for a child, to
Yeah,
see, to know that there's possibility that people can get away with it because they weren't prosecuted. So not only could white people do this to me as a little boy, but then no one would do anything
nothing
about
about it. Yeah, and it's funny because I was born in '71 and coming just out of the civil rights movement. It
it.
still,
Okay.
still, you still was having that talk though. Your
Sure.
parents
Oh,
was
yeah.
still, hey, look,
Yeah.
go. It-
Right. Hey,
it's like you had your head on a swivel, like, man.
you had to. Yes, brother. Yes,
Yes,
brother.
I get it. I
Yes,
get it. And
man.
so that was
Yes,
your,
sir.
yeah. And it's funny because I grew up having that same type of imagination to the point that if I was in the backyard playing, you would think 20 kids were out there, but was nobody out there with me.
I love it. I love it.
Nobody was
Yes,
out there
yes.
with me. So I had that
Uh,
imagination.
were you only child?
No, my two older sisters, they were much older than me, and then my baby sister, we're 12 years apart. Now I don't know what my
Okay.
daddy was doing. I don't know
Okay.
what I don't know what there's too many the gaps.
2 minutes, right,
Yeah, the
right.
gaps is just you tripping. But so
But you're the
for
only
12
boy though,
years,
right?
I'm the only
You the
I'm the
only
only
boy.
I'm the only male. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
that was great.
but see, I played sports and everything. But you got to
Okay,
remember when you were coming into your own and your prime. Remember, it went number 3 channels though. You know?
that's true. 3. That's
so
it. That's
so
it, brother.
And TV went off. Remember
All
TV used
right. People
to
forget that. They don't have
so
no TV went off the air. Yeah.
so I had a chance to still watch a lot
Yeah.
of TV. And what was that like for you? Your first uh acting gig, you landing on the Jeffersons. I remember you on the Jeffersons, and that's why I changed
Yes,
my
yes, yes.
background because
I love it. I love
first
him.
first time out, what was
Yes.
crazy, first time out, you are on a show that's already popping. Like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
what was that like for you getting that part?
Oh, brother, I thought I had made it then. The fact, come on. I went, oh, I made it. I got, I'm with the show I've been watching all these years. I mean, they had been on, I think at least a couple of years, I think they had been on.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just, yeah, man, I was in awe of everybody. And just wanted to make sure, just trying to be as perfect as possible, going over my lines over and over and over again, but yeah, just pinching myself, like, is this real?
I still remember that episode. I remember
Thank
that
you, man.
you called Lionel. You were like, you like Diver? They were looking at him like Diver. Like, yeah, he always we were still in the fruit and he would fall out. They took a dive. I was like, oh my
Right,
God.
right, right.
I
Diver.
see,
Yeah, man.
like yourself. So when I say I followed, I mean I followed.
Thank you.
I watched,
Thank
and
you.
now here's the crazy part. So you're looking at the background. You had you had the mustache.
Right, right,
You had the little fuzz there.
right.
But then, and I'm gonna get you again right here. But then we changed
I know,
when
right?
you landed the role of Roger Thomas on What's Happening.
Yes,
Did you
yes.
realize? And let me go here for a second. Did you realize? Not so much was it a hit or was it going to be a hit? Not all that. But did
Yeah,
you realize that you were our American Black teenager at the time?
I didn't. Sure did not. Had no. I hear it a lot now about the black nerd and all that. Then the teenager, yeah, because we were the teenager first. But no, at that time you just so happy, to get to work. And now
Mm-hmm.
45. This 45th anniversary this year
Right.
is August 5th. So 45 years ago, August 5th of last year, rather, was our 45th anniversary. And I got a call from NBC, CNN, and you realize how much it meant to people, especially when Dr. Angelou and Muhammad Ali, and when recently
Wow.
Will Smith telling his son Jaden, you
Right.
don't know, man, this brother here, he's an hour every week. He said we didn't have no, you had to wait for the rerun,
Oh yeah, you had to wait.
and so,
wasn't even no VCR. So if you missed the
right, there ain't no
episode,
VCR, so you
you
had to
missed this.
wait. And but he gave me so much love. Will did, and so did Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, same thing, and Sinbad, definitely, Samuel Jackson, Angela Bassett. These
You
people.
were because you were the first. You were, when I say the first, what I mean is I never looked at your character as a nerd. I looked at your character as he wanted to be somebody, because
Oh,
Roger was cool, because think about it.
yeah,
Wasn't like Roger was hanging out with nerds. Right? I mean, first of all, if
right,
you're a
right.
nerd,
That's true. I wasn't. That's a good point.
if you're a nerd, there's no way you hanging out with Rerun. First of all,
That's you know what? That's the truth. That's the truth.
you
That's a
are
good
not
point.
hanging
No one
out.
ever.
I,
Yeah. No one ever brought that up. That's a very good point. Yeah.
I saw Roger as a person who wanted to be somebody, a single parent mother, before they brought your father
Yes.
in.
Yes.
Single
Absolutely.
single
Yes.
parent mother. And hey, listen, man, all of America felt you with
Yeah.
D. I was like, man, if he don't slap D, man, if he don't choke D, man, D, what is wrong with D? All up in that man business like that.
Right. Right. And
Man,
she loved it. See, she enjoyed it as her as herself, as Danielle
yeah,
Spencer.
Daniel
She
Spencer.
enjoyed, she loved the joke being on me. She loved when the audience, when she would give me
Uh-huh.
a zinger, and you would catch her smiling. If you don't, people, she would catch. She lost it several times. They just kept it in because kids do laugh at themselves, right?
Sure,
But
sure.
if you look at it, she's laughing literally. She is cracking up, because she knows she got me in the audience going crazy because she said something about me, right? So she loved it, man. She loved it. Yeah.
What was your most people I know probably ask you what was your favorite episode. But my question is not so much what is your favorite episode, but what do you feel was one of the most important episodes that you guys filmed?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Uh, well, I think there were two.
Okay.
Uh, One where my mother she doesn't want me to have a job because she feels it
Oh
interferes with me,
yes, yes.
and I was surprised because I had to say, look, and I don't give a damn, I was surprised that I was like, I'm saying that. I said, because I couldn't say that to my mother in real. I said, my mother, I don't know. This is a different episode because like mother,
Boy.
but Mabel was okay with it. She said, no, I understand it in the heat of it.
Right,
He's sorry. Without him saying it,
right,
he just saying, look, mom, I'm saying this for you. I'm fighting for you. I don't want you to work those two jobs.
right.
I can do it. I can do it, So I think that episode where he's like, I'm the man of the house, damn it.
Yeah,
And this is
yeah.
the way it's gonna be, but I felt uncomfortable with that. I ain't gonna lie, because I never could say
You could
there's
you
no way,
you knew you was
I
acting
just
then.
said, yo, brother, I was acting my butt off. Like, okay, oh man, and my mother is not cool. She ain't cool with that. But Mabel loved it, and so that one. Then there was another one. There was the one about the Negro Baseball League.
Oh
So I
yes,
love the
yes.
Patooties and the fact that they
Spike.
got their recognition because people didn't know about that. I didn't know about it, and when they were talking about it in the story, I didn't know all these great ball players and how they must have felt that they were better than all these Babe Ruths and all that. But
Right.
no one, because they were black, they were denied. And that really hurt me, man. I can't even imagine what they went through. But then also it was about race, how he didn't want his daughter. He
Correct.
didn't speak to his daughter because she married a white guy.
Right.
So I locked that, and I just saw, and then I like the connection of he's a senior citizen, and Danielle, little D, how
Correct.
they connected, and she had to school him, like what you saying,
Don't
oh,
make
I don't speak to
sense.
my I don't speak to my daughter because she married a white man. He said, which one? She said, which one?
I remember just cracking. Not only was she teaching a lesson, but it was the way you guys broke that down, the simplicity, like, well, that's dumb. Like,
Right,
because
yeah,
because here's what people miss that I got with that, Mr. Thomas, was this. Kids at that age, it's either black or white. So
yes,
it's either
yeah,
right or wrong. And so they
Yes.
haven't lived
Yeah.
long enough to graze and all this. And
That's true.
so
So true.
her character was like, so you trying to tell me you ain't spoke to your daughter in years because she married a white man? Like that
Right.
don't even, when you say it out loud, it don't even sound like
Right. When you say it out loud, right.
really.
Right. That's
And
so true. Right.
my
Really? Yeah.
my your character, let me tell you your importance of your character is that you taught us all. Now I came from a two-parent household, but still
Oh, bless you.
your character taught us to take care of mama. Your character
Yeah.
will always, even when when they wrote daddy in, he was gonna try to hustle
Yeah.
her for two.
Right.
Once you understood that, you're like, okay,
Right.
I got something for you. You
I
know,
got something. Right. Yes. Yes.
your character taught us to make
Yeah.
sure that we
Yes.
always look after
Yes.
our
Yes.
mother.
And I'm
And
doing that right now as we speak. My mother's in the other room. She's
mhm.
90 years old.
Oh,
I
bless
have
her.
caretaker, I have like home care people coming because I said, Mom, you did it for me, you know, and she won't call, she will not, she'll be suffering at night. So and not let me know. So I got to get up in the middle of the night just to check on her. And she's like, I said, you all right, Mom? Oh, no, I'm in pain. Why don't you call me? I got the phone on in the other room, but I didn't want to bother you. So so I did. Roger, that's one thing Roger and I had in common, you
Okay.
know. Definitely that thing for the
And
mothers.
you and Miss Mabel King had such great chemistry,
Yeah, yes, yes.
especially I'm talking about the comedic chemistry
Yeah,
when
yes, yes.
when your character would get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I felt you, man, because I was like, wait a minute, he a little too old to be getting a whooping.
Right,
This don't
right,
even make
right.
no
They don't
sense.
remember black mamas,
And
right.
she was like, and I love, because it's in syndication, so
Yeah, yeah,
I
sure.
get to always watch it, and I love
Yes, yes, yes.
the episode where she said, Roger, give me your belt, and you started laughing like, Mama, come on, you ain't what you doing? You ain't used this on me in years. You hit the mute button. You hit the mute button. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we good.
Okay.
No, I was just saying that your chemistry with Miss Mabel King was uncanny. Uh, Now, as a kid growing up, my favorite line by you was "Mama, I can't breathe." That is well, that is
Oh my
that
Lord.
and here's why, because I had a cousin at the time that favored you far as in body stature.
Oh,
And
okay.
and so my aunt, his mother, is a heavy set, woman. So we used to laugh like, boy, if your mama hug you like that, it's
Well,
just,
I can't tell you how many of the big girls would grab me and want me to tell them that. You
oh
know, they were like,
Lord.
come on. They want me to recreate that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's what
and
you
I
tell
loved
him.
it, you know.
That's what you tell. Now I got paid to say that. Now
Right,
you
right.
try to do stuff for free. Now you do it too
Right,
much.
right. They get free. Right.
What was it like
Um,
also for you working with now the late Sydney Poitier and Bill Cosby? You've worked with some, incredible actors.
yes, 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 man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. When Sydney died, a lot of people were contacting me because they knew about my love for him and his love for me. Because I never, again, never wanted to be an actor, but never thought in a million billion years that I'll be working with my idol. The guy that I've watched in Lilies of the Field and
Yeah.
Raisin in the Sun and all that. To me, he was just huge, like so bigger than life. And so uh, when in 1977, it was
Mm-hmm.
1977, and I was on break from What's Happening,
Okay.
and Brian O'Dell, he's in the movie, but he was up for that role, so he wanted me to coach him, you know,
Okay.
so he could get the part. So he's like, can you come to the audition with me? Because he wanted me to work with him just before he go in to see Mr. Poitier. Yeah. And so when I got there, he comes out and he sees me, and man, he was like, "Man, I know you and all that, and I'm a fan. Watch What's Happening." I said, "Come on, you got to tell me that. You know you don't watch no What's Happening."
Right.
I said on my Facebook page, Facebook post, he
Mm-hmm.
started imitating, which I wish, at that time in '77, we didn't have the
Right.
phone.
Sure.
He did an impersonation of me.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Scene from What's Happening. So you knew he didn't, and he did it verbatim. The
Wow.
exact line. So then he was like, "Man, you know what? You look like me." I said, "Here we go. Here we go." You better looking. You better looking, right? I went, "Look, man, look." I said, "Look, I love you. Ain't got to do all that. I love you. I idolize you." He said, "But you're gonna be in my movie?" I said, "Well, I'm on break. From." He said, "Wait a minute. You don't want to be in a movie with me?" And when he said it like that, you really thought, "Wait a minute."
Okay. I may not get this shot again.
And I went, "Hell yes,
Oh,
yes." And that's how it happened. I didn't even. My agent was upset because I didn't give him a chance to negotiate. I signed the thing right then. He got me real cheap. Because I was just so happy.
I don't blame you. That's one of those. It's a it's just a different
Come
situation.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. I didn't care. My agent was pissed, man. And Sydney, much later, and I posted
Mm-hmm.
later on, I was invited to a fundraiser at Quincy Jones's house,
Okay.
and Patty and the mama was there. Any celebrity you can think of, but Sydney's always the biggest. I don't care who's there to me. He
Okay.
upstages everybody. So he was there and he was telling everybody, "This guy here, I owe him. I got him real cheap." He said it. "I owe you money." He said, "Oh, And I would again. You're not expecting that, man. And I'm in seventh heaven because I am in awe of him. I am, And he was just telling everybody. And then I know when I was leaving,
Mm-hmm.
um, we all standing outside for the ballet to give you your car, right? And
Okay.
I had lost all my money, man. I had an old Nissan. I'm like, "Oh no, they're gonna see my niece Sydney, gonna see my car, right?" And so I had to think the joke, do it the joke, a joke about it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm standing there talking to him, and the guy says, "Yes, Mr. Thomas, I got your car." I said, "How dare you, man? Don't you disrespect me like that? I get destroyed. Don't you think?" Man, and Sydney was laughing so hard, man. He was bowled over. He was holding his side because I just went off on the and Sydney knew it was my car. He knew it had to be my car, right? And I give me the key anyway, man. Just give me the key. I gotta get home. I'm tired. So inside, I was just so happy that the last time I saw him,
Uh-huh.
I made him laugh like crazy. So
You
that was
did you did an Eddie Murphy before Eddie. That's
yeah.
that's a Beverly Hills Cop, and he's like, "Hey, all this happened last time I came." like when you in a that's amazing. I had the pleasure. I just did an interview yesterday with casting director LaTanya Potts, and remembering Sydney Poitier.
Everybody, ain't no one got a bad story about
No.
Sydney. Everybody, all the white actors I didn't even know about, saying, "Oh, he did this for me and he did that for me and he was so kind to me." And it just made you like, he is who he was. He who he said he was.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Also, when you did Malcolm X, right?
Yes.
How challenging can it be to do a movie like that when you're doing a recounting someone's life story?
Yeah, it's very hard because there are death threats. There are a lot of people. I mean, of course, now they know that Spike Lee is a genius, and he did.
Right.
He made a masterpiece, but they did not. There were people that didn't believe he was the one to do it because of the other films he had done that they had sexual content. Hello,
Right.
hold on, sorry. Hello. Oh, the nurse is leaving. Could you hold on? You
Yeah.
pause it. But
Go ahead. Go
okay,
ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Okay. In a way,
Go
okay,
ahead.
I will
No, go
make
ahead.
up that. Okay, I will make up dialogue. I'll be having 3 or 4 people talking out of
Uh,
me, just being silly,
Listen, I told the comedian Shanita Morris last night, used to go by the name Chocolate. And
Oh,
she
okay.
I told her I'm the person at the funeral that, trust me, I'm gonna find something funny.
Right,
Believe it. I'm gonna
right. You know,
find
right. Yes,
I'm the guy you want to sit next to, because it don't matter if it's my family or your family.
right,
I'm gonna
right.
find somebody. I'll be sitting next to you, and I be like, Ernest, who is that? Right? What? And you be like, oh man, that's my son.
Right.
But they shouldn't wear that. Don't do that. That's,
Yeah.
I'm
No.
just
Oh,
yeah.
see, we wouldn't be good together. I'd be laughing too.
Well, as
I'll
long as
be
we ain't
like,
on the front
I
row.
brother, I'll be cracking. Matter of fact, one of you, it was my friend's her sister, his mother's sister, his auntie. So
Uh-huh.
we were there, and so they had a singer, and the woman could not, brother. That was the worst thing. And I went, oh no, please don't do this to me. I'm trying not to laugh. Next thing you know, brother, I had his mother.
Uh-huh.
This is her sister, right?
Uh,
Even she was laughing because my body was trembling. I was laughing so hard,
like who asked her to sing? Who you you know what? Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm the same
oh,
way.
brother.
But
It,
yeah, I
it
was
was hilarious.
but
Yeah.
no, I was asking you, you was telling me with Malcolm X, like people felt like
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Spike
yes,
Lee
yes,
shouldn't
yes.
have done it. And I was saying, how hard is it to do, when you have to reaccount someone's life?
Right. Very with Malcolm, especially because you had so many brothers who were loyal and
Hmm.
fanatics about him. Like you got to get it right, and
Right.
so because of Spike, a lot of his films had, the it was a sexual,
Sure.
it wasn't like it was a great film, but he'd always have, real sexual moments.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there were people who were thinking that, because Malcolm, when he was a pimp, right,
Right.
a drug dealer, whatever, that he would have that in there where Malcolm would be having sex and all that.
Hmm.
And Spike wasn't going to do that. But they thought that he was going to be, so that was, I mean, I'm talking, we had bodyguards because we were literally getting death threats. I couldn't go and
Wow.
get a cup of coffee without, yeah, you had to have bodyguard to get a cup of coffee, or go and get a meal because that guy that had the bald head, that one brother that was on the Farrakhan, but he was sort of a loose
Hmm.
cannon,
Okay.
and he was the main one threatening. And so Spike had to call Minister Farrakhan to
Uh,
talk to him, and that quieted him down. But that guy was saying a bullet could come any moment, that type of stuff. A
wow.
bullet could come any moment. So that was. Then you had people who were Latinos. There was a Latino group that
Mm.
loved Malcolm. Yeah, brother. They were like, y'all better get it right. It was like that type. So you had all these different groups, saying that they wanted a certain way, but you got to give it to Spike. I think he really poured his
Oh,
heart.
oh yeah, he never. I watched that. So I
Yeah,
went to the movies to see it, and
yeah,
then after, when it comes on TV or cable, whatever,
yeah,
I said.
yeah.
And matter of fact, last year I spent a lot of time watching documentaries
Okay.
on Malcolm X,
Oh,
listening
okay.
to speak. Now, I was fortunate enough to the high school I went to, George Washington Carver in Atlanta, that I read Malcolm X book 3 times in high school. Your mute is on. Uh-oh, you hit it again. Yeah, it'll. What because I know you said you also, got to do a screening or audition, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, how have you evolved since that guy that showed up on the Jeffersons to you are now? How have you evolved as an actor, as a person?
Great question, brother. Such a great question. It has been, again, 45 years. And yeah, I would say definitely leaps and bounds, where, and God, I just thank God. God is so loving and so forgiving, right? And the prodigal son is celebrated. And I was that prodigal son because God gave me everything I asked for. I asked for a TV show. I asked to be the lead in a TV show, right?
Uh-huh.
But beyond that, I didn't see. He gave me more than I asked for, put it like that. I did not see me being admired by people that I admired, like all that. So I took it for granted and started partying and drinking and doing all the part. So I really sort of made that the God. So also now the show is a God, partying is a God, the drug is a God, all that, right?
Right, right,
In the moment, because you still believe, but you're not doing Matthew 6:33, where it says, first seek ye the kingdom of God and his
right.
righteousness, so you don't realize you're really putting all these things on top of your salvation, you know
Okay.
so all these layers, these
Hmm.
worldly layers on top of your salvation, and you don't realize it's choking your spirit. It's choking you. So it got to the point that, I remember Yusuf, my brother, he was killed by this racist policeman. And there's some good police. I'm
I
disagreeing.
get you.
This stone cold racist, and he killed my brother. But he was a big brother. He loved me, brother. He would always get on me about, getting myself together and the drugs and all that. And so he was always on, and he never, was with me when I got high. But one day I ran into him while
Hmm.
I'd been high that night before, and he said, "My brother, your light is dim." And that
Mm.
broke my, when he said that, brother, he said,
Mm.
"Brother, your light is dim, brother. God can get you higher than any drug, any freebase, any crack, any liquor." And so it really hurt me. And yet I had to, I ain't gonna lie to you. It wasn't like I was gonna quit that day though. It was
Right. I
like,
get it. I get it.
yeah, I know, I hear you, but brother, I need me a hit right now. You talk about humor, right? Yeah, I know, but you got a couple dollars. I need a hit. Yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow. All right.
Right, right.
So so when you can't recognize yourself in the mirror, all right. When you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, you see the dark circles on the eyes and all that. And so it was a long, and my niece asked me, so Uncle Ernie, you know better. Because I grew up Kojic, Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal. So
Woo,
it
not
wasn't like I,
Pentecostal. Oh
oh,
Lord.
man,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
brother,
You've been in church for a
Pentecostal,
long time.
brother, can we talk? Okay, can we talk? So I know. And she said, how would you? I said, curiosity. I was bored, and I actually said, I said, God, I said, Lord, I'm good, but I'm bored. I mean, everybody having fun. They're out there partying. You seem like I'm missing something, right? So I actually said, Lord, let me just play hooky.
Let me
Let
play.
me play hooky for a while. I'm a good person.
Right.
I just need to party. Can I just have some fun? So then you start your, a little weed at first, and you do a little cocaine. So all that. So the answer to your question was just spiritually, as they said, the prodigal son, when he
Came
came to
home.
himself, then he went back. Is that he came to himself, then he went back to his father and said, Dad, look, I'll just take a servant's job. I'll take
Yep.
the, and he celebrated, and Christ said how heaven celebrates the prodigal child, and how they rejoice over the one lost sheep,
Yep.
over the 99 that saved,
That's right.
because according to my friends, because they wanted to make it worse, they were like, they would always bring up what I did wrong, you know. And for a long time, because I didn't know about that passage, I
Right.
always felt bad that I had gotten high at all. And then once someone showed me that, they said, "Oh no, brother, no, you celebrated. You're the prodigal child. God came and got you. He brought you back.
You
You
more
know."
than you more
So
than a conqueror.
it wasn't what they were saying. They really, and these are Christian folks, by the way, that condemn me still remind, oh yeah, I remember you used to get high this way and that way. So I learned too to cut off some people, to excommunicate people, because I clung to people like, I just was a people pleaser for the first 40 years. I'm 72 now. For the first 40 years
Mm-hmm.
of my life, I've been the last 32 years, I've just gotten rid of people. I've really cut, and it was hard because people you've known for so many years, but you realize, you know what? You're not really my friend.
Do
You
you
really
think?
are not.
Do you think? Do you think, especially in the industry that you're in? Let me ask you. Do you? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking this question.
Okay. Yeah.
But do you think you was misunderstood to the point that you was misunderstood? Because remember what you said, you was trying to fit in because you like, normally you do your job and then you go home, but then the curiosity, and it took you also now to just, you had to get to where you were just comfortable of just
Yeah.
being Ernest Thomas to realize I don't have to fit in with,
No.
I ain't got to
Yes.
fit. And the reason I asked that question was this: I interviewed Mr. Carvin Winans,
Yeah.
and he had a song called Misunderstood. And I
Oh.
told him that song spoke to me. And he asked me why. He wanted to see that I get the song. And basically what the song is like, I'm doing things trying to please you because I'm trying to fit in. But I really don't fit in. That is why I'm misunderstood, because the people I'm trying to fit into know that this ain't me either. And so I'm misunderstood. So until I can get around my people, who
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
crew, then
Yeah.
I'm not misunderstood anymore.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely,
Gotcha.
absolutely misunderstood. Because I will meet pimps. They were now they've gotten their life together. I've
Right.
used, because the pimps and prostitutes were my only friends. They're the ones who befriended the church folk. To look at me is like, oh yeah, you messed up. You really messed up. They didn't quote no script about
You just
forgiveness.
messed up.
Yeah, you just messed up. You got a golden opportunity and you blew it. God gave you an opportunity, and like you did the worst thing. Ain't no comeback for you. They didn't give me nothing. But the pimps and the prostitutes, Brother Otis, the
Yeah.
pimps and the prostitutes who I tried to avoid, they would see me, on Sunset and all that.
Uh-huh.
And hey, I said, hey, and I'll be rushing, trying to get away from them. Then one day they said, hey, man, we ain't trying to hurt you. We love you, brother. And I said, wait a minute, what they are? They ain't trying to hurt me. I'm not used to being in the company of pimps and prostitutes, especially being coaching, right?
Right.
So, but once I received them, and they weren't trying to hurt me at all, brother. They would give me money. They made sure I ate what the women make sure you took the vitamins and all that. So yeah, I was definitely, yeah, like you said, you're trying to fit in with people that know you really don't fit
Yeah.
in.
Right.
So, and they're trying to get, why are you even Why are
Here.
you what are you doing? Why, even I mean a drug dealer would even look at me. I would sit there. I was a pimp, he's a pimp and a drug. He got killed, JR. But he looked, I was just there sitting there and they had the girls coming through. I'm just sitting there getting high with the free base. And he looking at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, man, so he just said, so like, well, so what do you what's going on with you? What's in I just said nothing. I'm just looking for a new show. My show was canceled. I got depressed about that, and so he's a man, but you're funny. You're gonna get another show, and he see me just sit there because a lot of them might have been doing orgy. They might start doing sex right in front
Right,
of me,
right,
right?
right.
And so my thing was I would focus on something because of my imagination, right? I could go away, right? Or I might even get into the sex thing, but not bother anybody. Just mentally, right? Doing
Yeah.
my time. Not then I was innocent, like I didn't like
I get, I
see
get,
you.
I get you.
Pretty girls. I mean, they
Right.
girls like you were. How in the hell you be a prostitute? You like a college girl, right?
Right.
And so I had he's looking at me, observing all this stuff going on, and he says, you know what? He said, and this was it. You're the strongest nigga I ever met. And I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, and I was so paranoid. I'm high as hell, right? And I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay. Oh, thank you. But as I look back, I know what he was saying. 'Cause he says, you are so full of so many things. You know what I mean? And you're not so, you shouldn't be here where you are right now, and yet you're in control. You're not just gonna let
Right.
you should be with all that drugs you should be buck wild by now, right? But I
What you
wasn't buck
weren't.
wild, right? So I look at all that and but I always tell people they didn't try to hurt me. They gave me money. They showed me their guns. That if anybody mess with me, they say, you let us know. You just point out who it is. And this is what they said. We will do a drive-by. You be in the car with us, point him out,
We
and it's
got you.
pow, pow, pow. And it scared me, but at the same time, I loved it
You was
because
protected.
I felt so beat up on, right? And I am out in the street by myself. I don't have no bodyguards.
Right.
So for them to say that, they gave me something, made me feel comfortable, made me feel safe that you better not mess with me because I'll tell so and so, and people were scared of them,
What?
So as I look back,
Mm-hmm.
being misunderstood, I can see, and they tell me I just met a couple of pimps, and they was like, man, I couldn't figure you out either. Because he said, here you are getting, and he said, there are times you would have OD'd had we not stopped you.
Oh wow.
Because I didn't know, because that the coke, the freebase gives you such an ecstasy, but it'll turn on you because you're gonna die or get paranoid. So, but you want to get higher and higher and higher, and they like, brother, They grab it, you're gonna kill yourself. And
Wow.
they said, you can't. And they told me, you can't, you gotta stop. And at some point, rest and come back. It ain't running nowhere. You got it right here. And so I say they saved my life. I still say that because, and
Yeah.
they buying it. It ain't like they need me to buy nothing,
Right.
But I would have OD'd. Oh, I would have died.
And see, the
So
funny part is when you think you're on the wrong road, like the people who you thought should have been encouraging you that wasn't
yeah.
encouraging you. See, the thing about God is sometimes we think we're on the wrong road and he's saying you're right where I need you to be
Ooh,
because I'm
brother,
about to change you. So you
brother,
actually
preach,
where you're supposed to be.
preach,
Everybody
preach.
else don't know this because
Yes,
it's
yes.
amazing. We think
Preach,
sometimes when
preach,
everything
preach.
is going good that we're
Yes,
on the right road, and
yes,
sometimes
yes.
he's saying no, actually you on the road to destruction.
You're right.
So what I'm gonna
Yes.
do is I'm gonna allow you to want
Mm-hmm.
to taste this drug. You know why?
Yes.
Because you're gonna sink a little bit, but what's gonna
Yes.
happen is you're gonna run into me. And
My
watch this.
Lord.
Like I named the show, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Woo!
I'm gonna interrupt you, and I'm gonna turn it around. And then when I place you back where you need to be, watch this. You'll know how to handle it. You'll know. You'll
Yes.
be more mature. Listen, we all make mistakes. We
Yes, yes,
all. I
yes.
don't judge
Yes.
anybody for the simple fact is this: if I know Mr. Thomas needs Jesus, what makes me think I don't?
Right, right.
So,
Yes.
so if I got
Yeah.
problems, he got problems, then we all just got problems
That's
that
right.
that
That's
only
right.
God can solve. So
Only God can
you are
solve.
more
That's
than a
right.
conqueror, man.
Right.
I
That's right.
champion you, man.
Oh, brother.
My last question for you, because trust me, I want to bring you back on the show.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
my is something that I've never asked anybody, but what is the key to doing a sitcom? And the reason I'm asking you this question is like you said, we see the funny, we see the laughter, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
how do you get the timing that the joke, it hits where it's
Yes,
supposed to
yes,
hit? It's funny. You guys make it just like you and I talking. That's how
yes,
you make it
yes.
seem.
Yes.
How does that magic happen?
Well, brother, I just listened to my director, Bud Yorkin, was the king of the comedies. He had All in the Family, Good Times,
Yep.
Jefferson, Sanford and Son, Maude. So he directed the first episode, and he was telling me that it's not just about the line you're saying, right? Uh,
Just hit the camera back on. There you go.
it's also your reaction.
Okay.
He says, so someone might say a line to you that should be funny, but
Mm-hmm.
the audience ain't laughing. But you react to it and they laughing on your reaction. So it's
Okay.
always that action reaction. The camera and you have 3 cameras on you. So everything you're doing, just be in the moment, And so they capture it. And I'll see things like, wow, man, they captured the thing that I didn't even realize I was making that expression, right? And then people like Let Us See, the singer Let Us See, and I also met what's the young brother's name that's on Saturday Night Live. He's been on there
Oh,
forever
is it
now.
Keenan? Keenan?
Keenan, I remember he came to see me in a play, and he was like, they were doing like that. We were like bowing, to me
Uh-huh.
like that. That was in like 90 or like 96 and 97, like that. 98. It might have been 98. But timing, I don't know. People say, oh, you should teach a course. Let us see, as she told me that. She says, you should teach a course in timing. I said, sweetheart, I don't know how I do what I just know that I do it. I just something I feel.
Gotcha.
Now I did study, like I said, I Love Lucy,
Mm-hmm.
Danny Tom, Make Room for Daddy, all these sitcoms. I watched them so many times, and maybe something got in me like that. I would study comedy albums. Like Pigmeat and Markham. If people don't know about, that's an old black duet. They were
Okay.
funny. And then the Red Fox. The Red Fox X-rated albums. Richard Pryor,
See,
That
that's back
Nigga's
in the day now.
Crazy. All that stuff. I would listen to, but I would listen to white and black, and I would try to imitate what I heard.
Gotcha.
But I think it's just, I think it's a gift from the Lord Jesus.
It's just okay.
And I actually say that before I go on, it be a dramatic otherwise. I said, Lord Jesus, and I've been doing this just for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the gift, because I still get nervous before I go on. And once I let go, and it was one part I was in the play with, but Loretta Devine and
Oh, I love her.
I love my baby, and I don't know, I just could not memorize the long speeches. I could not get it together. It just but the director was saying, Ernie, you know, man, showtime is in a few hours, bro. I'm a little worried. I said, no, I'll be he said, I'm a little worried. So I got in the dressing room and I said, Lord Jesus, you know, you said, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And I know I studied this and I don't know why I feel like I'm losing it today. I says, Lord, I'm going to trust in what you said. I'm going to close this script up. Okay. And Lord, I'm going to surrender to you.
Gotcha.
Brother Otis, let me tell you something, brother. When I got out there and unleashed that thing, brother, it felt like it was a outer body experience. Like this,
Okay.
God had taken over. I
Okay.
was no longer, it was that God had turned that, Ernest Thomas had left the building. Whoever that character was speaking. And brother, it was where the people bum rushed the stage. You know, after the introductions, usually are waiting in the lobby.
Right.
That performance, people like jumped on the stage. And the one, but Ernie, that moment with that, they don't know that I have been freaking out, you know, hours, you know, a few hours before that. But once I surrendered, and I just did 5 movies this year, by the way, last year in
Wow.
2020, 5 movies. Yeah, with COVID restrictions and all that, and I also had a head-on collision.
I got a fan
I
for
had a
you.
head-on collision. Oh, okay.
Come on.
So I did, 5 movies, 5 diverse roles.
Come on.
So yeah, God is
Get
great.
on this
Who
side.
we got? Who we got?
Get on this side. Get on this side. Come on. This is my daughter. Come on.
Hello.
She know you as
Right.
Mr. Omar. I know you
Oh,
as
tragic.
Raj Thomas.
Yes.
I just wanted her to meet you.
How are you, darling? How are you doing?
He said, how you doing?
Yes.
I just wanted her. I just wanted her to
you
meet
watched the show? Because I was gonna show you
bring him here. Bring
a
him here.
T-shirt. I'm gonna try to bring you I'll try to get you a T-shirt.
Look who else I got here. Look who else I got here. I got my grandson.
Oh man!
So we gonna have him watching you too.
Okay, yeah. So here's the Mr. Omar T. Oh, hey grandson. Oh, what's his name?
Braylon.
Braylon, how you doing, King? Young King. Oh, that's beautiful.
I just know because I've watched interviews that you've done before. Yeah. And I've watched you talk about how, you know, one generation knows you in one thing, and another generation. Yes. So I wanted to I did that purposely to show you, to say, I know you as Roger Thomas, but she know you as Mr. Omar.
Mr. Omar. Yeah, and they don't want to hear. The millennials, they don't want to hear about no Roger Thomas. You know, that's Mr. Omar, right?
And that, you know what? That's the funny part. You're correct, because you say, no, let me show you. Yeah. Come on, let's go on to me. They be like, look, so I said, you know what? I take it back to the 70s. Then I just do it myself. Then,
right.
And that I wanted you to see that, because that you are a treasure to our community.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love everything that you're doing. You're taking care of your mom. Everything that you're doing, and your testimony that you gave. Like I told you, interruptions. I warned you. I said interruptions get interrupted.
Well, you ministered to me, brother. You ministered. You were ministering to me too.
I told you that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I never know how this is gonna go.
Right. Yes.
You remember? Not like she passed or something, but you remember Erica Gimple, right?
Yeah.
Played Coco on the TV show.
Right. Oh my Lord, what happened? Where is she?
No, I think she's in California. I interviewed her. And she sent me a message through Instagram, and she said she was blessed by the interview. Threw me off. Like, I was like, what?
See, I'm telling you, brother. I say the same. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Blessed. Thank you.
Well, thank
Thank you
you.
right now. Yeah.
I would love to, like I say, bring you back on the show. Normally, when I bring people
Okay.
back on, I like to pair them up, with someone else. And
Sure, sure, sure.
thank you for coming
Oh,
on,
you got it.
blessing us with your presence. Continue to
Thank
be
you.
blessed and stay
Thank
safe
you,
out
brother.
there, and keep
Thank
doing what
you.
you're doing. And I'll be in touch.
All right, Otis. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. Again,
God
thank
bless
you
you.
for blessing me up. All right.
All
All
right.
right.